Chris, James has talked about how you guys do a lot better offensively when you get the ball running. Do you think that's even more important this year with how good Michigan State's running rush defense has been?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can kind of be able to add an additional threat running the ball through the quarterback, pushes that much more stress on defense. So, we emphasize each week that it's something that we can improve on. If there's a way we can affect the game, especially in the run game, really want to do it, whether it's through our RPO game, being able to, they're adding the box, pull it and throw it outside, or being able to utilize the legs. So that's something that we emphasize each week.
Chris, what did you take out of watching film this week? Were there a few things that maybe jumped out at you that you've learned or discovered?
For me, it was that margin of error is so small in games of that magnitude, and versus those caliber teams that every play that's out there, you have to take advantage of it. There were a couple plays where we were able to miss a guy downfield, or easy pass that you never know what play is going to be the difference. So you just got to treat every play like it's gold, and you got to make every single play you can.
Trace, today you were named the finalist for the Unitas Award along with guys like Mason Rudolph, Baker Mayfield, JT. What does that kind of mean to be put in that company and be a finalist for that award?
It means a lot. Obviously a lot of credit goes to our teammates and our coaches, because as we kind of always been preaching here, those kind of single individual awards come with team success. So a lot of that doesn't happen without the team being successful. And those, some of those names you just mentioned, they're top quarterbacks in the country. Just honored to kind of be in that conversation, kind of in that group.
James said that at this point in the week, kind of what you guys have on the line is presumably what you'll have on Saturday. So when you look at that, what are some of the challenges you have to make when, obviously we saw in Ohio State, Ryan goes out, you guys adjust. Do you feel the need to then say a little bit more in the huddle, or are you totally comfortable when those guys are moving around?
Totally comfortable. Kind of that mentality we have here of next man in. There can't be a drop-off. You never know who's going to go down at what time. We just kind of have that next man in mentality. The next guy's got to step up and perform. And everyone has faith that whoever's stepping up will do that. So we had complete faith when Chad stepped into the game. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get it done, but definitely got complete faith this week with the guys we got up front.
Trace, you had a tremendous amount of success in the air against them last year, Michigan State, but they seemed to do something well against your run game. What do you remember from that game or tape that you reviewed maybe this week?
They did, especially early on, kind of changed some things for how they were playing some of our runs, with kind of how they game planned us, and they did a good job there. They're just kind of a little bit more physical than us, I think, up front at times last year. We were able to hold them up in the pass game and be able to beat them up, but kind of really their linebackers, I think, made a ton of good plays in our run game, and kind of their defense that they have, they pride themselves in stopping the run, and that's just kind of their background, their nature. So I think that played in a part of it. That's kind of what they do best, is stop the run. And they felt that at all costs they were going to stop the run, and if they were going to get beat, they were going to be through the air. So fortunately for us, we were able to make plays through the air and kind of make them pay. We'll see kind of how they approach it this year.
Does it help that you've had some common opponents when you watch film with them, or does that not really?
I think it does help a little bit, just because you can kind of get back into anticipating, kind of seeing. You've seen those looks before. Each team's going to be a little bit different with how they present them or how they play them. Obviously, they got different players, but it does kind of help you be able to have seen those looks before, so you can kind of fall back on the practice and the training you've had for certain pressures and certain coverages.
At this point in the week, have you guys repped for a minute or kind of gone through that situation again in practice, or James just kind of let it go, maybe more so than usual?
It was, I think, more talked about. We didn't rep it this week, but it was more talked about on Sunday, and kind of amongst guys on Monday and Tuesday, kind of the mentality that we need. But we didn't rep it. It was kind of more talked about what we needed to do.
Why did you feel the need? I know, I guess you, Saquon, and Jason had the players-only meeting on Sunday. You guys were kind of, as the leaders, talking about that. Why did you feel it was important to do that?
Really just kind of keep, make sure guys weren't going to be too down, not let that loss carry over into the next week, or really into the rest of the season. So that was the main goal for us, is get guys moved on from it, make sure that everyone's on the same page, that all we can do is control. We can control. Be able to come out, work as hard as we can, play as hard as we can on Saturdays, let the chips fall where they may at this point. And for us, that was kind of the main goal, is that there's no reason for us to sit here and say, there's not necessarily a point for us to be doing what we're doing just because we got one loss. That's not the mentality we wanted to have, and we wanted to make sure guys knew that we're still going to be the same team that we have been all year. We're still going to be competitive. We're still going to be confident, and that's just really kind of the main goal we want to get out of it. Not letting guys get too dejected, not let that loss beat us more than once.
Did you get the sense that they bought in just through the first few days of practice afterward?
Yeah. I mean, Tuesday came out. It was really good practice. Really energetic guys were jumping around. It was actually, honestly, surprised me more than I kind of expected it to be. So, I mean, guys really bought into what we were talking about.
When did you get that sense that would be a good idea, that meeting? Because at least speaking with you post-game, I mean, it seemed like you had adopted that on the surface. Like, this is what we want to do. We want to move on. What was it important in your mind to make sure everyone else had?
I mean, it was really that night. We kind of, as the captains, as the leaders, we knew that was the mentality that we had, and we wanted to make sure everyone else was on the same page. So we knew right when we came in, before we came in on Sunday, just 15 minutes before the team meeting, like, let's get in and just make sure everyone's on the same page.
Trace, your high school while you were there was really successful. I think you guys won 3 state titles, right? Is there any weeks parallel to this from when you were there?
I mean, a little bit. There were a couple of times when, my senior year, I know we had been riding a long winning streak and ended up losing a game like midway through the season. Kind of had to bounce back, and same sort of thing. You got to forget about it. You can't let it affect you week to week. So, it's kind of something that, being in my position and being able to kind of draw on that experience, I think helped me out a little bit.
Hey, Trace, James talked about players having positive body language and that impacting guys on the team and just sort of having a big impact. Do you notice that from teammates, and as a leader yourself, is that something you're conscious of coming in and having positive body language, especially when it's a long season?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, for us, one of our main core values is positive attitude, and just having a positive attitude can affect how you come in and your work ethic and kind of your mentality towards practice and towards watching film and towards preparing. And then it ends up being contagious. I mean, positive attitude is extremely contagious. So, you get one guy doing it, and it just feeds on to the next guy. Next thing you know, the whole team is kind of feeling a little bit better about themselves, and you kind of moved on, you forgot, and everyone's positive and ready to work for the next week.
Trace, where were you when the rankings came out last night? When did you first learn that you guys have been named number 7?
When we were at practice when everything initially came out, once we walked in the locker room, kind of the TVs were on and they had ESPN on, and that's kind of when everyone was able to kind of see where everything had played out. I mean, kind of for us, from our perspective, kind of where I expected, even maybe a little bit ahead, kind of with some of the other teams that are undefeated, and us having one loss. So, I mean, definitely with one loss team, happy with that.
Was it a general feeling across the locker room, just a little bit better than expected, almost?
I mean, kind of right around there. I mean, for us, we felt we'd had a 1-point loss to the number 6 team in the country on the road, so to extremely talented Ohio State team. So we didn't think we would end up dropping too far.
Right.
But I mean, definitely, obviously for us, it's not where we want to be. We want to be in that top 4. So not to say we're happy with it. We know that we got our work cut out for us now, but I mean, for where we're at after one loss, I mean, we'll take it.
Trace, you've had former teammates, Penn State alumni on social media, maybe hitting your phone after some of these big wins. But after a pretty devastating loss, did you hear back from anyone you played with in the past or someone representative of this program?
Yeah, I heard back from a couple guys. I know off the top of my head, Lee Rubin was a guy that reached out to a couple of us. He reached out to, I think it was like me, Jason, Saquon, Marcus, and there were a couple other guys before the game, just saying he was going to be out there. And then after the game, he reached out to us again and said, couldn't be more proud of how you guys represented the program and Penn State in general. And there were a couple other guys that reached out to me, guys that I've kind of known growing up that used to go here, and kind of as I was growing up playing football, kind of crossed paths with them and knew them. So kind of got a couple text messages here and there, just keep your head up. And that's kind of the messages they were all saying, proud of you guys, just keep your head up, keep grinding.
When you look at all the points and the yards that this offense puts up, is there still a level of success that this offense can reach this season, or how close are you to peaking?
It's hard to say how close you are to peaking, but I mean, for us, we definitely feel like there's room for improvement each and every week. I mean, even games that we win, Coach Moore says what you wouldn't accept in defeat, you can't accept in victory. So we're always looking for ways that we can improve, whether it's just a little detail, a single step here, finishing a throw, or how you can set up a route or finishing a run a little bit better. I mean, there's always going to be plays throughout a game and throughout a practice that you can get better on. So we're always looking to improve. It's hard to say exactly where we're at as far as a peak, but definitely looking to improve every day.
Time, two more.
Trace, after the Rose Bowl, I remember a lot of the guys talking about being a chip on their shoulder, that taste in your mouth is going to motivate you. When you're in season and there's a big game like that, is the motivation come in that bad taste in your mouth during the preparation the week of, or are you guys going to hold that in for the rest of the season, do you think?
I think you can kind of do it both ways. That definitely the week of when it's as fresh as it is, I think it might be a little bit more. But as you kind of progress through the season, you still remember what that feels like. So, and it doesn't just go away just because you kind of were able to get through to another game and move on. So I think that'll always be there, and I would anticipate that that'll be motivation for us throughout the rest of the year.
Anything else?